Keane Mulready-Woods, a 17-year-old from Drogheda, Ireland, became one of the most tragic figures in Ireland's recent criminal history when he fell victim to a brutal Gangland murder in January of 2020. His death, marked by extreme violence, sent shockwaves across Ireland and highlighted the alarming escalation of gang-related violence in the country. His murder not only underscored the brutal nature of feuding criminal organisations, but also served as a grim reminder of the vulnerability of young people to being ensnared in criminal activities. Welcome back to Crime Chronicles. Stay tuned as we look at the shocking details of this heinous murder and find out who police have recently charged with involvement in the crime, over 4 years since it happened. Keane Mulready-Woods' murder was one of the most high-profile killings in an ongoing gang feud in Drogheda, a town located about 45 kilometres north of Dublin. The feud, which began in 2018, involved two rival criminal groups engaged in a power struggle over territory, drug distribution, and control of illegal activities in the region. By 2020, the feud had intensified, leading to shootings, arson attacks, and multiple murders. Mulready-Woods, though still a teenager, became involved with one of these criminal factions, acting as a low-level member and allegedly participating in some activities on behalf of the gang. However, his exact role in the feud remains speculative, as the true nature of his involvement was often clouded by his young age, and there is evidence suggesting he may have been exploited by older, more experienced gang members. Unfortunately, this type of recruitment has become a concerning pattern in Ireland, where vulnerable youths are often lured into crime by promises of protection, belonging, or money, only to find themselves in dangerous situations. Keane Mulready-Woods disappeared on January the 12th of 2020, and his family reported him missing shortly thereafter. The last confirmed sighting of him was in Drogheda, close to his home. According to reports, Keane was lured to a house in Drogheda where he was ambushed by members of a rival gang. The brutality of what followed is difficult to comprehend, as he was subjected to torture and eventually murdered. On January the 13th of 2020, just a day after his disappearance, a gym bag containing human remains was found in the Coolock area of Dublin. They belonged to Keane Mulready-Woods. In an even more macabre discovery, on January the 15th, more of his remains were found in a burning car in Drumcondra, another area of Dublin. Finally, the torso of the teen would be found next to Rathmullen Park in Drogheda on the 1st of April 2021. It would take a DNA test to confirm it was him. This method of disposal was seen as a form of intimidation, as dismembering a victim and leaving their remains in public places is a tactic sometimes used by organised crime groups to send messages to rival gangs and the general public. The killing of Mulready-Woods was a particularly shocking act, even by the violent standards of gangland disputes. His youth and the gruesome details surrounding his murder drew widespread condemnation from the public and prompted a major response from the Irish government and law enforcement. The death of Keane Mulready-Woods had a profound impact on the community of Drogheda and beyond. In addition to the public outcry, there was a renewed urgency in addressing the escalating gang violence plaguing Irish towns. Politicians, community leaders, and citizens condemned the murder, expressing their horror at the brutality of the crime and the extent to which young people were being used by criminal organisations. Taoiseach Leo Varadkar, who was Ireland's Prime Minister at the time, described the murder as absolutely shocking and vowed that his government would put an end to this criminal activity. The investigation into Keane Mulready-Woods' death was one of the most high-profile criminal investigations in Ireland in recent years. Police quickly identified several persons of interest and carried out numerous raids, detaining and questioning various suspects connected to the feud. Among the suspects were several notorious gang members already known to law enforcement for their involvement in violent criminal activities. However, the tight-lipped and insular nature of organised crime networks made the investigation challenging. Despite these difficulties, police pursued multiple leads, focusing not only on the individuals directly involved in the murder, but also on dismantling the wider network that facilitated such violent crime. In the months following the murder, police made several arrests, with many related to drug trafficking, weapons possession, and other crimes that indirectly contributed to the feud. However, gathering enough evidence to bring murder charges specifically related to Mulready-Woods' death proved challenging. The investigation highlighted the need for better resources, including forensic capabilities, to tackle increasingly sophisticated criminal enterprises. One of the main figures associated with the murder was Paul Crosby, a known criminal from Drogheda, who was arrested and later sentenced for facilitating the murder. Crosby was accused of helping the perpetrators by providing logistical support and ensuring that the crime scene was managed afterward. He was sentenced to 10 years for his role, highlighting his involvement in organised crime around Drogheda. Gerard Cruz, another individual, was convicted for aiding in the murder's execution, though he wasn't directly involved in the killing itself. Police also detained several others thought to have played minor roles, including a 29-year-old woman suspected of helping to clean up the crime scene, and a 23-year-old man who allegedly provided logistical support. These individuals were primarily charged with obstructing justice or assisting the killers rather than their direct participation in the murder. The most high-profile suspect was Robbie Lawlor, a notorious gang leader believed to have ordered Mulready-Woods' murder as part of the ongoing feud. Lawlor was implicated in other violent crimes and was under police watch for years. He was, however, killed in a separate gang-related incident in Belfast in April of 2020, further escalating the conflict. The arrests highlight the complex network of individuals involved in Drogheda's gang feuds and the systematic issues of organised crime in the area. While several people have been brought to justice, authorities continue to investigate others suspected of indirect involvement, suggesting that the Mulready-Woods case is emblematic of a larger criminal problem affecting communities in and around Drogheda. Although it has been well over 4 years since the murder, in 2024 there was another flurry of activity in the case. May of 2024 saw the arrest of Stephen Carberry, while August would see the arrest of Glenn Bride. These two men would be charged with 3 offences relating to involvement in the murder, primarily the disposal of body parts, destruction of a vehicle, and impeding the apprehension of others involved in the killing. It has been refreshing to see that the police have continued to investigate the teenager's murder, and it seems that the 2 recent arrests may not be the last. There seems to have been a large number of people involved with or connected to this murder, but police still consider the main suspect to be Robbie Lawlor. And as we know, a dead man isn't able to face justice. Thank you for joining us today on Crime Chronicles. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel with your friends.